Go. Screen is sharing, and I will take attendance.
All right, everybody. So on this Juneteenth, 2024, we're here for the BCard Weekly meeting. We weekly meet as a team every week on Wednesday to sync up and to work on all of the things that we are working on, discuss and eliminate blockers, and prioritize what we are going to be working on next week, and do our best job to not try to impersonate links as we roll our way through this weekly meet. So we got most of the major crew here. I think Lynx is doing some attendance, but discussing.
Attendance is completed.
Awesome. It's just been looking at a blank screen. I know it's up above. So the lag metrics is the next thing we're going to be talking about, is what we're trying to achieve. We had a pretty nice week of transaction volume, $1,000.84. That's probably our biggest week thus far. The lead metrics that we're looking at, thinking about what will move the needle for the metrics above, are 60 new users being brought in by our communications team content funnel, and 3 communities deployed, none new this week, and 7 returning users, and 0 new money in the multi-sig. Any notes on that, I think, can be saved for later. The team-wide announcements are dust off the strategy and playbook, and Asana and meeting notes. I think Lynx has a lot of goals here, obviously, to bring us up to speed and catch up on a lot of the latest updates that we have going on there. So is there anybody new in the audience that I see? Just our recording robot. Everything's all good here. And milestone perspective. Lynx, would you like to discuss about the perspective for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So our product milestone is to get 1,000 weekly transacting users. And to do that, we are working on the rewards flow. It is tested and deployed on prod. I believe it's deployed, right, Tom? I think I saw that deployment go out for the latest. Is that correct?
Yep, it is out. It's good. So we're just claimable on bank and NOGs, very limited scope. So like only a handful of users are available to claim. But for those that are available, it should be available.
Yeah, so that's great. We also have a monthly reconciliation script, which we are going to use to kind of, it laid the baseline for how we're going to look at some of the metrics, but also it allows us to publicly release our aggregate rewards, so rewards per community, and this is kind of one of the things we can do as build in public to help us show that we are different, and as well give us like another opportunity to engage people outside of our ecosystem. We also created some rewards multi-sigs. So right now we have the kind of core multi-sig, but on a monthly basis, we don't necessarily want to have to gather people up on that multi-sig to do a transaction. So the rewards multi-sig, I believe it's just me, Tom, and Anna Thinker on it, and it's a 2 of 3 multi-sig on ARB, OP, and base, and this will allow us to ship rewards faster on a monthly basis. I also posted the public reward spreadsheet on Firecaster. Probably we could post it on Twitter as well. I wanted to put a discussion item a little bit further down on other things we could do to work in public. Next steps are one-on-one user tests for the rewards flow, make the Merkle route more resilient. We had a bug on live, and we were going to talk about how to fix that. It is fixed, but we're going to talk about how we can make it never happen again, and we're going to transfer some rewards to the multisig. Another thing that we have to do is add email when rewards are claimable. So every month when we have rewards claimable for that user, we can send them an email and say, hey, you have X NOGs available, or you have Y bank available, and that should help us re-engage people, so we hope. We also are looking at plugging a gap in the new user flow. So a lot of people think they have to wait for a physical card before they can start to use BCard, and that's not the case. The carrier should be ready now. So the new carrier is probably already going out, but I didn't verify this last week. I'll try to verify it this week. And essentially, it tells users not to call to activate their card, but to load money to activate their card via ACH. So that should help. It also tells them that Apple and Google Pay are available, so that should help with that flow as well. We're going to as well change the email that we send to users when they sign up. Right now, it's kind of just, hey, your B card's coming in 7 to 14 days. What we're going to do is we're going to add stuff like, but you can start using it now. You can load right now. So that's another thing we're going to do. And there is as well some additional emails that Blue Bear is working on for that funnel from onboarding to the first time they load their card to the first time they spend to a couple weeks after. And so that's in draft. And I know you did that last week. I haven't taken a look at it yet. I'll do my best. We also want to figure out the next gaps in our process. So we need to improve our analytics based upon our user spending, and this is also going to flow into the work that Blue Bear is doing on this email funnel, because we're going to need those analytics to actually know when to send the users their emails, and as well get community analytics working better. So we want to be able to start having a little bit of competition between our communities. So if we're able to say, oh, okay, so Nouns contributed X percent and Origin contributed Y percent to our transaction volume, will that get people more interested in spending so they can be the top community? We'll see, but these are the kinds of things that we're looking at right now to figure out the next gaps. And yeah, I think that is it. I think one of the things I missed was the next steps on the rewards flow. Oh no, I said we're going to do one-on-one user tests. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that's it from a product perspective. Unless there's anything else you wanted to say, Tom.
No, that summarizes quite a lot of it. I was just thinking as you went through that list that I thought we had a long list of things to work on while we were in production on the early stuff, but it seems like the list keeps getting longer about the more things that we get to do and add. So it's pretty exciting that it keeps to grow and keep getting better. So next up we got content funnel. Any notes here from our communications team, Rainus or Coffee Crusher? Perhaps no notes, or not available to talk.
I'm just
muted.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Yeah, this week we launched our Nouns email yesterday. So everybody who is on our email list, you can check out your email and see the Nouns partnership announcement email written by Mark. I'm gonna check. Oh, Coffee's not here. I don't know if she set up the posting for the Nouns partnership announcement video. Let me check real quick. Oh, not yet. So probably today or tomorrow we will be announcing on Twitter. So our email list subscribers get the first news, and then we will distribute it to the rest of the public. So this week we are launching the video, and we have launched the email. So Nouns partnership announcement is live. That's the biggest in our content funnels this week.
Do we have plans for Origin?
We're currently working on that with Coffee. Coffee's leading the campaign, and me and Andy are going to produce the video materials needed and probably email as well. We're still gathering info to what we need. Getting the logos and everything is in the process.
Yeah, I wanted to say big props out to the communications team this week as I was watching, starting from last week, our number of new cards per day number went from under 1 to over 1 to now it's sitting over 2 per day on a weekly basis, which to me I think is pretty awesome and speaks directly to the messaging that's going out from the communications team is being well received and being acted upon as we're seeing the direct conversions to new cards. So pretty great work, team. Next up, we've got the community funnel for NF Thinker. We've got some communities in the pipeline to be discussed.
Yeah, so Links helped set up a meeting with Hire last week, and we met with 6. It was a very brief and concise meeting. He sounded interested. He hasn't filled out our intake form yet, although we have actually filled that out. We have actually sent that to him. I don't actually have a direct contact with 6, so Links, maybe you can reach out to him and see if they want to go ahead with Phil.
Yeah, I will do that right now.
Okay, perfect. We had 2 other communities besides Pool Together who filled out the form. One of them is relatively small. It's a regen community, and I would consider them sort of lower priority right now, just because I don't think they would bring in much transaction volume. The other one is Blue. I've been speaking with him in direct message, and he seems very keen. He's sending me a lot of messages. It's hard to keep up because I send him 1 or 2 messages and he replies with like 25 DMs. So I have to catch up on those still. He said that they have 1,000 active US members. I asked him why he said that. He said he wasn't totally sure. So I'm just trying to do a bit of DD on that, and figure out, is this something we want to pursue? Because we don't want to be getting involved with communities that are token, like, I guess, overhyped token meme plays. We want something that's gonna be longer lasting. I'm not saying that Blue is that at all, but I just want to be careful and tread carefully through this and make sure that we're aligning with the right communities. So yeah, this is a good practice, and I'm noting down things that we can apply for future communities when we're running due diligence, because that's going to be a very important part of partnering with different communities moving forward. In terms of the Notion CRM, so I finally put that into action, and I used some helpful tips that Links gave me to create some filters, some groupings. And what we can do now is, I don't know, maybe Links, you could actually just share the screen on there so people could get a quick idea of what this looks like, if you wouldn't mind opening up. And then we could just run through what that looks like. So the next one down, the community funnel. Yeah, so the CRM has a list of many different databases. One is contacts, another one is communities, and another one is tokens, and there's a few others in there. So what I've done is I've created this relational database in CRM accounts. This will show the accounts that are active, and then it will rank them on priority. So I was able to put in some different headings which are important when we're looking at these rankings. If you were to click into Hire or Blue or any one of those, open that up. Click where it says open. You can see there's a ton of properties in there, and they're not actually listed in that view there because they're not necessarily important for when we're going through the funnel. But you can go ahead and close that out now, and you can see what we're looking at is the number of Twitter followers, the number of USA members, active members, and then Warpcast members. And finally is, what's the last column on there? Discord numbers. So we're basically looking at numbers, active numbers. Moving forward, we can start to put on some predictions as to what we think the transaction volume could be, and we can use that in the funnel. As far as the groupings go, so these are positioned on the table by position in the funnel. So at the top is not active at all, and then it moves through until we get down to deployed, or deploying rather, and then we have the loyalty. And this is kind of where the loyalty phase, that's where it starts to move over more into the communications realm. So once we have active communities in here, then our comms team can go through and say, okay, these are the ones that we need to focus on. NounsDAO is super important right now. We want to make sure that, and we blast a lot of information out about NounsDAO, and then the comms team can start to prioritize the different communities based on who we want to target, who we think we can activate more members from, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, hopefully that helps. It's a work in progress. If you have any questions or comments, please DM me and we can move forward on that or post it in one of the public channels.
It looks like a really awesome tool for keeping organized on what's our best targets for moving forward and targeting the best communities. So I think that looks great.
Cool.
I think, do you have any notes on the grant applications this week as well, and I think, or before you go?
Yeah, well, Link's registered for the Base on Chain Summer, so I'll let you give an update on that.
So based on Chain Summer,
we all staked our ETH, right?
yeah, so Tom, CryptoDad, and I registered for Base on Chain Summer. It's mainly for developers, I think, and they're basically like, okay, if you have an existing project, you can apply, but only stuff you build in June is going to be eligible. So we're basically saying, okay, we did the rewards flow, and so this will allow us to, like the UI UX for the rewards flow, this is going to allow us to ship rewards on Base. And here's what it looks like, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to wait until a little bit later in June so that we have the maximum amount of stuff that we will have put in. And then we can see what happens. We went for 2 categories. We went for the payments track and the nouns URL IRL track, and we'll see, right? Like I think Base is really just throwing money at developers like crazy right now, and that's probably why they have such a high TVL. That's total value locked. That's how much money is on the Base chain. So I'm not sure if we're really what they're looking for or not. I mean, I suspect we are, but I don't know. So I'm not sure how this is gonna shake up. But certainly, I think we are eligible after going through the rules in details, and yeah, we're going to put our best foot forward on that, but not until the end of the month, so we have the maximum amount of time to actually make our product look as good as we can on the reward side. On the other grant side, we actually did get accepted for me to speak at what was it called, Ethereum Forum. The only issue is that it's in Japan, and we're going to need some grant money to make it happen. There are some scholarships available. We'll see if it's possible to get me out there. Then maybe we'll go. And then there's also a DAO Spring grant that we can apply to. It's maximum 2,000 OP, but there's 3 prizes: 2,000, 1,500, and 1,000 OP. And I don't think it's a very onerous task. Because it says create a DAO on Optimism, and pretty much, we are a DAO on Optimism. So yeah, we'll see. They ask for governance docs and all this other kind of stuff, which we do have. I mean, it's all pretty rudimentary by design, but that's a valid DAO design. So we'll see if that's going to work. In terms of accelerators, I don't know if we actually applied for any accelerators this week.
No, not that I know of. We're still waiting to hear back from Orange DAO and Alliance.
Accelerators. Still waiting to hear from Orange DAO and Alliance. And as well, tomorrow there is a Seed Club demo day for all of their summer cohort. So I'll check that out. It's a lot of Farcaster builders. And now that we actually have a product out, we actually have real users, maybe we'll get into their next one. Honestly, I have no clue. We're going to have to show some sort of traction if we want anyone to sit up and take notice, which is why we're doing this POC in the first place. So I will say that all of the work that we're doing on the product and communication and partnership side, everything that we're doing right now is going to really open the doors for more accelerators in the future. So we'll see. But yeah, that's how it's going.
I think Base is a super cool place to be. As more and more retail comes into crypto, they're going to be coming in through low-cost chains like Base and onboarded by companies like Coinbase. So having our product maybe gain more visibility by sort of establishing even sort of a small grant from the on-chain summer promotion would be, I think, terrific for visibility for the project.
Yep, I completely agree with you. I think that a ton of users are going to come on through Base because Coinbase really has that kind of ecosystem wired to funnel people in.
Yeah. As a side note, I'm like maybe it's adjacent. Do we know where Pool Together may be deploying? I know that they're kind of on many chains, right?
I think that
I
they
just wondered if they went
recently
base,
deployed to
it was
base.
base or May. Yeah. Maybe
I
if
think they
it's kind of
recently
new,
did.
if it's new on base for them and they had that was where they wanted to deploy, and that might be something as well that could be applicable.
Applicable to us?
Oh, just with this on-chain summer promotion, continued building in June.
Yeah, yeah. I think that they recently deployed to base like last couple of weeks, like last week or two.
Very new.
Yeah, so pretty interesting.
Cool. So we got, I don't think, is Brett around to discuss the new brand at this juncture, or that's going to be tabled for the future?
Yeah, Brett is AWOL. I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm assuming that he's just been wrapped up in traveling and that kind of thing. I expect him to show up again, a couple weeks later. We'll see. Hopefully nothing happened to him. But yeah, I DM'd him. I sent him a couple message updates. I think Andy has everything he needs from the website perspective, but we didn't actually talk about that, did we? Anyways, we can talk about it during the Asana task perspective.
All right, we should move on to that.
All right, so I'll click on here. Oop, forgot to do this. Duplicate task.
Links is going to get our payroll sorted and keep the data organized for weekly updates. Otherwise, we're going to go through our list of all team projects.
All right.
From everybody on the usual questions?
Yes, I did spend at least 5 hours this week, actually more than that, but yes.
Yes, for me as well.
Yes, for me as well.
Yes, from me as well.
All right. I'll ask Coffee Crusher a little bit later. I'm sure she did because she's been running campaigns, but yeah, I'll ask her a bit later.
All right, great. So where did you want to get started on this list as you're scrolling around?
We can start at the done. I guess I just popped over the milestones and goals because we kind of did those as part of the meeting notes. So.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Absolutely. So in finished, we've got some subscriber email that has gone out. So announcing our public beta launch went out to all of our subscribers, and by all signs was effective at getting us some new users to try to sign up and get new cards. Positive.
Okay, and I'll just ask Coffee Crusher how many. Or I guess like, can we set up compensation for this task? Because I think March did something. I'm sure Andy did something as part of the video that went out. So I'll just send her a note and I'll take it out of the all team projects and leave it in the accounting inbox.
It's cool. It might be good to see as well the sort of conversion ratio of like how many emails were sent to X addresses, which were opened, which were signed up via Privy, which converted to cards. So we'll be able to get an interesting flow of that with a few emails as we go. All right, moving on next, we have the base on-chain summer grant, which we just discussed in detail. Do you have anything you wanted to add further to that, Links?
No, but what I will do is I'll just put it in here because we're going to wait for a little bit. So essentially, next thing we need to do is submit by June 28th. I mean, it's until the end of June, but I'd rather just do it by June 28th, which is a Friday. So essentially, next week, the week after, and I will submit whatever we're doing on the rewards flow.
Great, and that's just the three of us. So let me know if there's anything in specific you need from me in relation to that, or if you wanted to jam on it at a point, we could set up a thing.
Will do.
Cool. This week I worked a bit on the claim rewards flow, so tightening it up and fixing up a bug that was introduced by my own fault, I'm certain. But figured out what it was, luckily, and everything should be hopefully smooth sailing moving forward. I think we added some preliminary things for me to work on in our product projects. Did we have more we wanted to discuss of the rewards flow from anybody? I know that Bluebear did a ton of testing for us, right? With the rewards flow, which is terrific across a bunch of different browsers and a bunch of different wallet implementations. On our staging implementation, seems to be working really, really well, which hopefully is going to lead to a very positive production flow as well as we get moving forward with deploying more communities and contracts.
Yep. I'm
So
excited
the rewards
about that.
reconciliation links has been digging away,
Yeah.
working on databases and updating queries to get all the information that we need.
Yeah, so we just need to send some rewards to the multi-sigs. And then there is a task down here, create a space which says all rewards are estimated until they are claimed on the app. So there's basically just two things on here left to do. Hopefully I'll get them done by the end of the week.
I think rewards are estimated.
All right, I'll double check it today then.
I think it's in that initial message, but yeah, verify me.
Yeah, I'll verify that. Just wanted to make sure, like I might put it in a couple places with a link out, because it certainly doesn't have a link to the support article, right? And so that's
Totally. Be a great
so I
one
just
to
need to do that. Yeah. And links to the public spreadsheet. Okay, yeah. And so I'll do a call out for that in the app, and then this task will be done. DAO Spring
Great.
grants are actually due by September, so I'll move this a little bit later. I'll probably, do this a little bit sooner than that, but maybe not right away. EdCon.
Is it education or is it like just like Edwards that joined together?
I don't know, Anna Thinker, what is it?
Educational conference. EthEdCon.
Just thinking about my
yeah.
friend Ed, right? I was just like, man, this guy gets a whole con.
Yeah, watch out for that guy. He's a real con man. So this again was brought to us by Rachel as part of the Ethereum ETH Uni or University Ethereum, whatever they call themselves. And Links has actually been approved as a speaker for Ethereum Quorum. So now we just need to figure out how to get him there. Our contact Tina Dye, who's in that EdCon group that we have on Telegram, sent me a link for a grant where it's essentially a scholarship, she called it, where they give $500 of the flight cost as a reimbursement. So I'm not even sure that would cover the full cost of a flight to Tokyo from Toronto, but it would certainly go a long way, and we may open up some other opportunities there. And also, I think that would give Links the ability to pitch to some different places. If we could get some funding from Ethereum Foundation, that would be ideal. So I think that's the overall goal there, is to try and raise some funding from ETH Foundation. And this is pretty much our best track at the minute. So yeah, I'm working on filling out that form. There's going to be some questions I'll need from Links, so I'm going to just ask him those when we need them, and I'll get that submitted. We'll also try and see if there are any other funding methods that would help fund this. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to the difference between there's ETH Quorum and then the Super Demo Day. I think the Super Demo Day is a prize pot. I think that's where there's the opportunity to earn some actual money while we're out there as well. So I just need to work on some clarification around that. But yeah, otherwise, this is in the works.
Right on. And community nouns DAO NNS, do we have any updates in regard to this as well? NF Thinker. So I know that we're in launch and in promotion. I noticed lately a lot of promotion going on about the other nouns token that I suppose is being considered or launched at this time. Do we think that's going to help or hinder promotion of this particular branded card?
Yeah, as far as I know, that other nouns token was launched by Seneca, and I'm not sure what's going on, but they've got super low liquidity. I thought I'd be real smart and ape into that, so I spent $200 on that one, and it's worth about $50 now. In that, so
Meme coin plays are like that, right? It's a coin toss. You never.
So
really
that specific coin, if you want an explanation, is not meant to be like a meme coin. It's meant to make nouns. It's meant to allow people to earn nouns over time. So like imagine if you know how we gave bank to people for their efforts at Bankless. If there was some sort of Bankless top level NFT that makes you a voting member, that would be the intent behind it. So you can earn enough bank to become a voting member. You can earn enough nouns to become a voting member. One noun is worth 1 million nouns, the token. And there was an arbitrage when when they first launched the token, there was a huge arbitrage because they basically said it was at like 20 ETH per noun. So a bunch of people bought nouns for 5 ETH and then basically drained the liquidity by taking advantage of that arbitrage. But that's exactly how it was supposed to function.
It's interesting.
Oh,
it's a cool concept for sure. I mean, in terms of a token launch or whatever. And I wasn't sure if it was launched early or if it was intentionally as such, but it seems to be having an interesting play out.
Yeah, interesting narrative. Well, at least if anybody ever tells me I don't provide anything in the crypto space, I can at least point to being exit liquidity in the nouns token launch.
We're all someone's exit liquidity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting play, but I don't think it has anything to do with us currently on this. So yeah, we're just gonna double down with Nogs NNS again. Dom non-responsive, so I don't know what he's up to these days. The nouns NNS server is not even super active. They had their last announcement nearly 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know. I think I might just try and reach out to him in DMs one more time, check everything is okay. And the more we start to push our communications efforts, the more attention I'm sure we'll get from him.
Yeah, we'll probably get some branding related effects off of the related promotion of the Nogs token, I suppose, or sorry, the Nouns token. Anyway, just with the brand being so strong.
Yeah, I don't know. Links, do you see any crossover there with Nouns token? Do you see any way that we could maybe integrate that as well, or?
I mean, we could
do double allocation.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we could do double allocation. We could also create another community specifically for nouns, essentially, right, and give them the same card, right? So they could choose, to get Nogs, or they could choose to get nouns. And then we would do the same thing that we do for Origin with them, is that we just buy nouns using the liquidity that's provided. So that's something we could do, right? Like it's set up to do that, but it would only really work if we got some sort of promotion from the nouns community. So it seems like the nouns community is lining up behind nouns more than Nogs right now. Not sure why, but.
I guess you never know the way that these token community-based communities will play out in the future, but I think it's cool that we can deploy either as a new community or add to the existing community the new token if it decides that's sort of the way that it wants to go. And you're right that because they already have the branded card, I mean, getting a second implementation with a new community and a different token is relatively low cost to implement and just sort of development time, right? And there's no other sort of structural infrastructure requirements that have to go into play there. So that is pretty cool. Coffee Cruncher's got a couple of updates here that she's not around to do some updates on right now. And I think you want to discuss the announcement channel on Discord.
Yeah, I've started looking into this in terms of how to even create an announcement channel. I can see that as as an option straight up under the settings, or when I add a new channel, it just says text or voice. It doesn't give me the opportunity to do an announcement channel. So I'm looking into that, but I have created a new category called welcome, and I'm starting to do some organizational bits in there. Blue Bear, I don't want to mess up any of your organizing either. So if there's something that I do which doesn't work, just spank me on the wrist. Otherwise, do I have sort of carte blanche to mess around with this as long as I don't break things?
Yeah, go right ahead. Let me know if you have any issues with the setup, or we can work together on that. No problem at all.
Sweet. Okay, thanks.
It's like moving into a new apartment and trying to get a sense of the space before you put up all your furniture. Reyes, do we have an update on the project or the website for the BCard?
Yeah, well, Andy's here in the call. Andy, maybe you want to tell us about your progress on the design?
Double update.
So I've been working on the website for like a little bit now, back on track, let's say like that. Well, I remade some sections in the website from Lynx's notes, and I'm just going on from that now, just following the notes and correcting some places in the website. So yeah, but not ready yet.
Yeah, I guess we'll do the last notes, and then Brett will join us to fix the website up, final touches. But
I mean, if Brett isn't around, right, we shouldn't like, the intent is that if anyone is not around, we are unblocked, right? Like, that's the way we try to set up our work. So worst case, we can start executing when you feel ready, Andy, or even before you feel ready. I think it's Jonathan who's working on it, right? So all I'm saying is don't necessarily feel blocked.
Jonathan is already coding the pages and the setups. He's working on it already. He's just waiting for the final design for the final implementations. But since the blocking is already kind of known where everything will be, he's already working on it. So we'll definitely won't be blocked in those final touches by Brett if we get them nice. If we don't, well, shit. We're going to be ready to launch anyway.
That all sounds great, and I suppose in the coming weeks we'll probably have something up for everybody to proof and take a peek at and sort of hammer against before we go into production on that website. Next up, we got the cash flow for the proof of concept. With our Christy, do you have an update for our current POC cash flow?
Yeah, well, so I added actual and tabs onto the worksheet, and I've been pulling updated data from the multi-sigs and the transaction material that Lynx has put together to get the actual figures in there. So that's where that is.
Perfect, looking good. So we're moving from potential to actual in real time. Lynx, do we have an update on the email for patrons in June?
Yeah, so I'm gonna send it pretty soon. I haven't started it yet, but I'll try to write it this week. I don't have a big rush in doing this because the last one's kind of at the end of the month. So I feel like now that we got the rewards flow out and we got the public rewards out, now this is kind of now we have something a little bit more to update. So we'll see. Yeah.
Excellent. And strategy document is you've been I know it's hot on our discussion topic as well. Did you want to save that one for the tail?
Yeah, so I haven't worked on this at all, unfortunately. I think that I should have a little bit more time now that we've got the rewards reconciliation out. I felt like a lot of time constraint on that just because, the next month is coming up hot on its heels, and I'm sure we'll want to make improvements when the next month happens. So I'm hoping that I can take a closer look at it over the next week.
Pretty cool. We discussed the brand launch via website and no updates other than that via Brett. Coffee Crusher maybe away from working on this article about world needs communities at this time.
Yeah, this is
And
an old one, but
it's
yeah.
a long-term queue.
Yeah.
I think we had a couple of videos go live this week if they were not just publicly launched this week. At least I saw them a couple of places in social media, right?
Yep, that is also what we're currently working on. The Origin DAO launch is the next up step for the video content. We'll try to squeeze in some little videos, but Origin DAO is definitely a priority right now. Oh, and the links I sent you I sent you my address for the card. I don't know if you saw it.
I did see your address, but I just haven't had a chance to get to the.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. It would be nice to get it before July because Andy is going to Asia for a few months, and I would want him to get it before he leaves, at least so he can film there.
Okay, and so basically, I'm gonna send you one Nouns card and one B card, like one
Yeah.
of the like generic cards. Okay, cool. Yep, I'll see if I can make it to the post office this week.
All right, nice. In thinking about the future, I mean, if it is possible when we launch a new community and a design for, if it's a branded card and design is ready, we could probably immediately get it to us, and then we can start filming as soon as the community launches. But that's for branded ones. Looks like I understand Origin. Oh wait, is Origin a branded card or is Origin going to be added to our app? I wasn't sure.
It's not a branded card. It's using the
Okay.
generic card.
Yep. Well then, yeah. Once the case is with the branded card, but yeah, work continues basically.
All right, that's an interesting way to break up the sort of premium nature of the promotion, I guess. Our branded card partners are maybe a slightly higher promotional priority than the others, but maybe not long term. I think that wraps up our all team project this week. A lot of stuff that we're working on this week. I think if we're going to roll into our discussion items, we have got about 15 minutes left to go.
Well, we still also as well have our what did we ship last week? So there's
Right.
lots in here.
So here's what we shipped last week. We can probably roll through real quick and say that Blue Bear tested the rewards flow on many devices. Our Christy found a bug on live that Tom had created and then subsequently fixed yesterday. Links published public rewards and posted on Warpcast, which also included an article on how rewards are calculated, which I thought was very informative and very open and honest, which is, I think, a great posture to be taking with our public community. Links published an article on how BCard makes money. Still working on some edits on that one. NF Thinker and Winverse gave feedback on the article. The three of us, as discussed, signed up for the Base On-Chain Summer Grant. Still working on that one, hopefully done in the next 10 days or so. Links released a way to get monthly transactions in rewards and also as a summary for the ops team. I shipped a production push for transaction data API server and tweaked the time data entry field for transaction data intake on data received from Transcast. And NF Thinker created the Notion CRM community funnel and adjusted the community intake form corresponding to it. And Links and NF Thinker met with 6 from Hire, new community potentially adding into the funnel. All right. So discussion items?
Yeah, so I was thinking we could talk about building in public, unless there's something else that someone wants to talk about.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
Okay. So I think building in public has a lot of implications, and it is a core differentiator of us versus almost every other community. So for instance, just the fact that all of the things that we're saying right now, we post online and we distribute through Warpcast, that is a big differentiator from anyone else. None of our competitors would put their weekly meetings on the internet. That is just something that's not going to happen. And the reason why I mention this is because it's very important for us to embrace this positioning versus what our competitors might do for a couple of reasons. One, it's because we need to be different than those competitors. If we aren't different than them, then what is the point of anyone using us, right? What is the point of anyone getting a B card if we're exactly the same as a Crypto.com or a Coinbase card, right? So we need to be different in some way. As well, I think building in public, it is us demonstrating our values. It is us practicing our values to be more public, to be more open, right? That is the kind of intent that we are trying to give our potential users. And by doing that, we are going to attract the kind of users for whom that is important, right? We don't want, like, we can't serve those people who don't really care about a more human, more transparent, more fair financial tool. If people don't care about that, then they're not really going to care about BCard. But by doing things in public, like posting our meeting minutes and posting our rewards, the people who actually care about that will find us, right? And so it is both a way to demonstrate our value and a means for us to distribute that value around. It is us kind of planting a flag in the ground and inviting people to rally behind that kind of flag. So that's another reason. And the third reason is, that's essentially the third reason, is that it is also a distribution strategy. So there are lots of things that we can do to market what we are doing to try to get more people to hear about us. One of the things that we should be leaning on is our kind of radical honesty and our transparency. You can see that in the 2 articles that I wrote this week on how our rewards are calculated and how we make money. There are close to 0 probably cards that will tell you how much money they're making on interchange revenue. There's like we're very lucky in that we didn't have to sign an NDA to even make these numbers possible. Most of the other partners who we would have worked with would have wanted us to sign an NDA for the rates that we're getting. So we didn't have to do that. We're able to publish our rates, and that makes it easier for us to be transparent and be public. And another reason for us to be transparent and public is to set our user expectations. If we kind of put up this front that we are just as big and good and whatever as a Chase or a Coinbase or anything like that, then users are going to step into BCard expecting that level of service, and we cannot compete on level of service. What we can compete on is transparency and fairness and ownership in the resulting product. Okay, so we're not going to be giving them that kind of like extra polished look. In fact, if we are too polished, then people might get the wrong impression of us. And so building in public, it is a strategy. It is a way for us to practice our values, and it is as well a way to set our user expectations. And so I want you guys to think of that as we're building. What can we do to build in public? Because that building in public is really part of our core, and it's going to help us in multiple ways. It means that we can be free to embrace it, even when things are a little bit messy, even when things are maybe a little less professional than you might expect. I think that we still want to be professional, we still want to be credible, but we don't want to be far too polished to the point that people start to think that we're something we're not. We want to be authentic more than anything else, because that is the audience that we're aiming for. And so anything around what you're doing on a daily basis, like for instance, I mean, I'll look around. So if our Christie is working on some financials, typically a lot of our financials are public, right? And so if you wanted, you could post our stuff publicly and ask for feedback. You could post a bounty and ask if someone wanted to take a look at our financials. Now, there are probably other ways to do that as well, but that's one thing we could do. We could post our financials on our support site as well. If Andy and Rainus are shooting a video and you guys did something particularly interesting, maybe you set up your studio or something like that, you could post about that. You could let people know that this is what we're doing. This is kind of behind the scenes, or here's a bad take of Andy. Here's one of the takes that didn't go anywhere because it just didn't work, right? I think that most people would not share a bad take, so it's okay for us to do that kind of thing. Drost, if you are working on a podcast and you have I don't even know, like some sort of mishap with your technology, you can post about that if you want. It's all mishaps, exactly. And the same, I think, like, you could go to everyone in this room and there's something that you could do publicly, right, if you wanted. And if Thinker, you could post about how we met with Six if you wanted, right? Like, all this to say that us building in public, it's not something that is just going to happen. It's part of our culture. And culture only really happens if people do it, right? And so because I think it's an important tenet of our culture, I'm going to encourage people to do it. And, I try to do it as much as possible, but I could probably do it more as well. So all this to say, I think building in public is really important. I think it is one of our key differentiators. I think it is going to demonstrate our values, set user expectations, and that's why I just wanted to bring it up today.
I think that's a great idea. Obviously, anything that we do in public that can sort of showcase the brand that we're working on can raise awareness, can get more visibility and attention to the brand. Adjacent to that, I had a thought maybe about the way that everybody individually thinks about BCard as a particular product, as a sort of key input maybe for future uses. It feels like right now we're working towards positioning the BCard as the card that is the one you use to support your community, which is a terrific positioning. I think within that use case, there's a lot of different sub cases that I think could be drivers that would allow people to consider the use of a BCard for a particular use case. So if you were, for example, going to travel to a different country and you wanted to take a travel prepaid credit card, the BCard might be a great option for you. And with the Travel Swap as a potential future partner, that could be a great marketing positioning, for example, to be used in conjunction with something like that. So something along those lines, I think that we can probably each come up with sort of unique use cases. I thought of a few other ones. Communities wishing to launch tokens in a fair way could launch a BCard for their community, and through their community's loyalty and spending, see what their community's commitment is before an airdrop distribution. So that could be something that, like, people using BCard as a principal vehicle to get data about their community and input. So these are all sort of like things that I've been thinking about, but I'm sure everybody's got their own sort of niche cases, each of which can be shared publicly, I bet, and make people sort of more aware and interested in each of these specific cases.
Yeah, that was interesting what you were just touching on there with Travel Swap. I wonder if we could use this Tokyo opportunity to maybe book some stuff and state that we're using Travel Swap, and maybe that will, incentivize them to take a better look at us. And that's just one option. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Travel Swap had as a part of their like recommended trip workflow, they're like, book your travel, get your B card, load up your spending money. MasterCard's good everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe that's even something that you could document in the travels if you do end up going. Links like book your hotel on Travel Swap. Maybe we could even pay for it with the multi-sig, because it's all, you can pay for everything in crypto. So yeah, and then beyond that, just how are we using these other services, these other crypto native services to our advantage, and share that with everybody. Because one of the things that you did say there, Links, is that nobody else is sharing what they're doing. Everything is so opaque, and that's what we have to offer, is open public building, letting people know the services that we're using, why we decided to use them, and not only will that bring more interest in what we're doing, it will also potentially open up more opportunities. People can say, oh, why are you using this service when you could try our service, and we'll incentivize you by doing this. And that might actually open up opportunities for people who would prefer to work with us rather than trying to form partnerships, these forced partnerships that are the incentive is typically money or transaction, whereas we might be able to find more sort of values aligned partners.
Right, and if we have good ideas and we share those good ideas that benefit us and our partners, the proliferation of those good ideas is really like gonna hopefully be a benefit, like one of those like rare triple win cases where it benefits sort of the user and the partner and the community all at once. I notice we're coming up on the end of the time. Did anybody have any last thoughts in regards to things to do in public to promote BCard, or anything else they wanted to mention at the tail?
I mean, I always like to talk about how grateful I am to all of you for being here, for putting in the work that we're putting. You can see that when we all start to work together, stuff can happen. I mean, this week Tom said that we moved from 1 user a day to 2 users a day. That's massive, right? And it's because we have a product that we trafficked to certain communities and that we distributed through our communications, right? Every single person, I think, touched what we did with BCard and what we're doing with Nouns, right? It all happened because we did it together as a team, and this includes the operational stuff that we're doing around our proof of concept, finances, and everything as well. I think that we're going to start to see more and more how this can snowball as long as we keep working together, as long as we do what we can. Right? As long as we're working as a team, it doesn't matter that I can't create videos because Rainus is going to do that. It doesn't matter that Tom can't do finances because Arkusi's going to do that. So just remember that we're all working together as a team, and it's as a team that we're going to succeed. So thank you, everyone, for coming together, because we can't do this by ourselves. We need to do it together.
Yeah, let's all build it, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming to this BCard Weekly, everybody. Have a great week and keep working hard.
I just wanted to say that was a great closing, guys. Links, I really appreciate that building in public commentary and all the encouragement for each of us to make mistakes and build in public, and I really appreciate that. And same way with you, Tom, with all the great ideas, and both of you very inspiring here at the end of the meeting. So I'm super stoked today, and just want to wish everybody a great day.
Have a great week, everybody.
We're building something really useful, and I think that the more we can think about it and work on it, the better it's getting every day.
Yeah. All right. See y'all.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Thanks, folks.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
See ya.